Hello, and welcome to the Legal Growth Podcast, where we dive into the strategies, challenges, and success stories shaping the future of law firms. I'm your host, Aaron Fulk, and together with Legal Growth Partners, we'll bring you in-depth conversations with top legal professionals, industry innovators, and firm leaders. Our goal is simple: share practical insights, innovative strategies, and real-world advice to help your law firm scale, adapt, and thrive. Whether you're navigating growth challenges or looking to boost your business development, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. I am so excited. Today, this week, our guest is Elizabeth. How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm fantastic. Thank you, Aaron. It's so great to be here.
Say your full name for everybody.
Elizabeth McJimsey Souder.
I love that. That. I think I got shorter. Why is my camera making me look so short? That's so funny. Okay, well, let's jump into this because this is kind of fun. Because you hold lots of hats. So law is just one of those hats. So we're going to adapt some of these questions today, but I'm super excited for everybody to learn. Elizabeth and I have known each other for a long time, so this is super fun for me. So give us a quick overview of how you chose law and your specialty.
So I wish I could say that I chose law. I feel law chose me. I was a political science major in undergrad, and I ran away to Boston for 2 years after college because I didn't really know what to do. And while I was out there, I worked in a number of different areas, but one of my favorites was working at Mass General Hospital in their risk management division. And there I was exposed to real life law. And so I decided to come back to the Midwest because this is where I jive. I love being in the wide open spaces. Mm-hmm. And so I went to law school at KU. And I started working directly out of law school for a fantastic solo practitioner in Lawrence, Dan Watkins, who taught me so many things. From there, I went to a small but very well-funded startup called Sprint PCS, where we launched the nation's first CDMA wireless network back in 1997. Wow. And that was super energizing time to not only be the lawyer at the table, but also be part of the business strategy. So as you will hear over and over in my career, I like being part of the entire the entire team. I like sitting with marketing. I like sitting with advertising. I like sitting with sales and finding creative solutions to getting ourselves out there in the marketplace. So after 10 years at Sprint, I moved over to Hush Blackwell, Blackwell Sanders at the time, that is now Hush Blackwell, again, concentrating in corporate transactions and program development. And again, loved being at the table, creating new things with both internally with the law firm and then with clients. And then about 5 years ago, I made this pivot out of law as a full-time profession into more business advising and consulting. And there again, I still work with law firms, but it's more on the team to team, and we can talk more about it. But the culture side, the development side, how are we going to do things better, faster, smarter, but also while building each other up and really developing ourselves to be successful.
I love that. So 5 years ago, that went fast because I can't remember.
That went fast. I know.
Like it was already 5 years. So what has been your biggest growth success story so far?
There are so many. When you're a solopreneur and you get thrown into situations that, and this is where I think being a lawyer comes in so handy, is that your ability to walk in and quickly analyze what's happening in a given situation. So from that first client where I walked in and I said, "What is going on over here?" And they said, "Oh gosh, we really hoped you wouldn't notice that." And I said, "Nope, it's the loudest thing in the room." And they thought it was the problem was over here, right? So from there, it just became one experience after another, culminating this year in a really exciting partnership with a company out of Boston called the Cleaver Company that has really enriched my portfolio of what I can do for organizations, and in particular with law firms, because they have a very intentional model that is linking the enterprise goals with the team success and individual leadership. So we are discovering where the weak links are throughout that process, and throughout that goal setting, and we're identifying ways to fill those gaps with best practices that are authentic to that organization. And it has been really extreme. It's so powerful to see what happens in real time with some team to team partnerships with firms and organizations of all sizes throughout the country.
I love that. So what, I guess, going into law and then now you've switched over to your own business, what has been your favorite non-legal skill that has helped you both help you grow in when you were on the firm side as well as help pivot over to the business side?
Right. I think it's a I call it empathetic problem solving, because when we can combine that salt and that sugar, like the soft side of empathy with the objectivity, and ultimate goal of problem solving, but it's empathetic. It's understanding both sides of a particular situation. I was never a negotiator who felt great if I screwed you over as the other side, right? In a transaction. We win together. And if you start off a relationship where there's one person that has, again, screwed someone out of what they really need, or they need to be successful, then that's not going to be a great relationship going forward. So how can we do empathetic problem solving that gets both of us where we need to go, and as quickly as possible? And seeing around those corners, I think, is one of my particular skill sets. There's one of my favorite tools is called the 6 stages of working genius, or the 6 types of working genius. And I'm a discerner inventor, which I call the sort of the chess players, right? Who can see, well, if we go do this, here are the other 95 things that are going to be impacted by that, or we can actually make it better if we were a little more intentional and scaled back whatever this idea was. So I think it's being that external lens, right, for an organization, because I'm not part of you, but I can sort of see where all the players are, and what might be the best way to get to that goal. You had to do it all the time in law.
Yeah.
A client comes to you and says, we want to do X, and you say, well, you can't do it that way, but let me help you get there a legal way, right? So it's putting in those analytical discerner skill sets that I have, that it's so fun. It's sort of a big logic game for me.
Are you good at chess?
I am pretty good at chess.
Yeah, I bet that's probably one of your fun ones
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, what trends or changes do you see shaping both the side of law as well as business? Because I know you do, consult a lot of
Mhm.
law firms now too. So what do you see that's going to help keep people competitive and stay ahead of their competition?
Well, this is a topic that's also near and dear to me, because one of my daughters is a third-year law student, and so I'm walking this journey again alongside her and many of her classmates. And the trend with law firms is that they've lost the talent war. Top law students are selecting in-house positions, non-traditional law, government roles, because the model that traditional law firms have used just isn't working. It's not enticing to them. None of it is attractive. The path to partnership is broken. The culture is often miserable along that path, and the compensation structures just have not evolved to with how people want to work, right? So the firms that are going to thrive are not the ones that are paying the highest salaries. It's the ones who figured out organizational health. It's the ones who figured out that they create a culture where junior attorneys actually want to stay, right? Because they're being developed as leaders, because they're being coached, not criticized. So how do you build a collaborative team rather than a competitive one? And so oftentimes law firms, they rely on that competitive nature that many lawyers have. And I'm not saying we don't have it, but that's not the driver these days. So where my work with Cleaver has become really critical is that we don't come in and tell law firms that they need better benefits or more flexibility, because they've already heard that. right? We're showing them through the data and systematic assessments exactly where their organizations dysfunctions are and what it's costing them. And then we identify the A players who are flight risk. We identify the B players with potential who aren't getting the development and leadership to fill the leadership gaps that they're experiencing. So that's where I'm really excited about positioning the next chapter of my practice is at that intersection of legal expertise and organizational health for law firms.
I love that. That's such a good point of view. I don't think we've had that on this show yet. So I think that this is going to be so good for a lot of people to watch.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Legal Growth Podcast.
Thank you.
Presented by Legal Growth Partners. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, drop us a review, share it with your colleagues, because great insights are even better when shared. For more tips and tools to help grow your practice, visit legalgrowthpartners.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep smiling. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.